You won't believe, this girl knows her brother is a judo champ, unaware she's entering a sea of torment. Confidently claiming her brother would avenge her, she's shocked when he tosses a photo of her brother's corpse, closing her eyes in despair. Just then, Jin Guangri sauntered in like she stepped out of a time portal, wearing an ethereal outfit, while the minions scattered like they saw a ghost. She listened to the girl's wails like a work of art. The scene was perfect in her eyes. She leaned down, gently stroking the girl's forehead, as if imparting artistic insight. The girl's hopeless gaze was simply too poetic to describe, and suddenly Jin Guangri became a fisherman, carefully threading fishing line under the girl's neck. The girl struggled helplessly. Jin Guangri stayed expressionless until blood appeared on his face, then he smiled contentedly. Soon after, North Korea's security department got a report. Old Lai led his team to the scene and found a family of 4 had been killed overnight. Not even the little girl survived this party. Old Lai picked up the family photo, where 5 smiling faces shone through, realizing these were all the girl's relatives, truly a happy family. However, the bodies at the scene had bullet holes clearly. This wasn't just a simple family gathering. In North Korea, guns are a rare species, and users aren't ordinary folks. But his subordinates were tight-lipped around Old Lai. After returning, he hurriedly briefed the chief. The chief, upon hearing the case, casually smoked his cigarette and indicated it was something Old Lai shouldn't concern himself with. After that, he tossed out a transfer order, removing Old Lai from the security division. Furious, Old Lai handed over his credentials and sidearm, but he wasn't planning to let those scumbags off the hook. 3 years later, no one expected similar cases to arise in South Korea, and all the victims were women. After inhumane humiliation, they sustained fatal wounds, sparking media frenzy and fear among South Korean women. Unfortunately, the officer previously in charge of the case mysteriously turned up, dead in his car. To prevent the chief from bearing pressure, the chief summoned Kaiyeda to the office to save the day. Kaiyeda was notorious for being the troublemaker. Yes, he could solve cases, but he could also stir up a hornet's nest. So the chief handed him the reins with one request: don't go too far. Thus, Old Kai donned the police hat. The forensics team soon had an updated DNA that didn't belong to the victims was extracted from them, indicating the killer was certainly not an. Old Kai instantly sprang into action, pinpointing a target, but just as he sought an arrest warrant from the prosecutor, a warning to tread carefully was it turned out the suspect was a VIP from North Korea who could be reformed, with the prosecutor bluntly advising Old Kai not to follow in his predecessor. Just as they prepared for the arrest, NIS agents suddenly showed up, led by Vice Director Zhang. Old Zhang tried to prevent the police from taking Jin Guangri, but Old Kai slapped the cuffs on him as if it was a comedic play. With indignation, Old Kai said Jin Guangri was a suspect in several serial murders and must be interrogated. Tensions flared in the air as police and agents faced off like they were in a dramatic showdown scene. But why did the NIS want to take Jin Guangri? Turns out, Jin was the beloved offspring of General Zhang, North Korea's number 2. His father managed secret funds for General Zhang, elevating Jin to true nobility. Due to political strife, the second-in-command and his father were eliminated, so Dad let Jin flee with a secret account. The news was swiftly picked up by the Americans, but upon discovering Jin's peculiar tastes, they sent the dog squad, aka the NIS, to bring him to South Korea. Subtitle: Jin's taken by police. NIS won't lose their VIP if the case is exposed. To respond swiftly, they dispatched lawyers with a laundry list of defenses, while Jin remained nonchalant in interrogation room. A serene smile on Jin's face, he calmly explained his love for gardening, giving neighbors his homegrown eggplants and cucumbers. As for whether the neighbors ate or used them, Jin cheekily claimed he was unaware. The lawyer even presented alibi evidence, their statements airtight as a drum. Nevertheless, Old Kai spotted a loophole in the dialogue. Did your DNA appear from your house? How did you conveniently find that photo? And look, your arrest warrant is valid for another 42 hours. Old Kai vowed to debunk Jin Guangri's alibi in 42 hours, despite crucial footage seizure, had scattered heaps of videos. Besides, Jin's minions were key evidence, as some vanished mysteriously before his arrest. Thus, the NIS had to locate them before the police, racing against the clock. Meanwhile, the 2 missing minions were getting special attention from a figure in black, who was hammering one of them mercilessly. At that moment, They lost all their previous arrogance, trembling like little chicks while begging for mercy. Soon, the man in black tossed the only survivor onto the road, and the NIS swiftly snatched him up. It was practically a capture operation. After battling for a day and a night, the police finally found traces of Jin Guangri, and old Kai was ready to dismantle his alibi. But just when everyone thought victory was near, the NIS unexpectedly showed up with the missing minion, self-surrendering. Talk about a plot twist. Not long ago, Zhang was sent by Chen Huadi to the police chief as the case went national. Jin Guangri was a hot potato the police couldn't easily handle. Zhang ensured the chief would step back for the sake of his future. To make sure everyone was cozy, Zhang decided to pin the blame on Jin's minions, ensuring all could live a little. But old Kai, being the thick-headed one, left everyone looking like confused penguins, all perplexed and furious.